Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and today in this video topic, I want to discuss the season one, episode three episode of the Winter Soldier and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier that happened yesterday. So basically, it's every day, every week on Friday, once a week, one episode. There's 6 episodes for this first season. It's airing on Disney Plus, obviously, because Marvel and Disney. Marvel Comics and Disney obviously have a partnership now, so that's what's going on. Basically, continuing on with what we've been seeing in the last 2 episodes is the Flag Smashers are the crew and the bad guys that are wreaking havoc around the world. Bucky and Sam have to make sure that they obviously take care of them and obviously send them to jail. But they're obviously a problem because this is an international incident, and they're obviously gaining more influence, and more people obviously are looking at them. We'll see what happens. It's been very interesting to watch the show. It's been fun. It's just, like I said, it's been obviously an issue with Bucky and Sam getting along together. They obviously have issues from them obviously disagreeing with what to do with Captain America's shield that belonged to Steve Rogers. Bucky and Sam obviously did have a disagreement on that and how to handle things. Obviously, of course, when it comes to taking on bad guys and violence and whatnot. Obviously, the Winter Soldier is much more violent than Sam Wilson, obviously, who is obviously the Falcon. But we've seen that the first episode, they did not get to meet. They didn't get back together with each other to meet up. Obviously, the first episode was basically showing how they've been living their separate lives, obviously, since Avengers Endgame happened, obviously, and people disappeared and they actually did themselves, and now they're back. So we'll see what happens with that when continuing on with the rest of the show. We saw them team up to help break out a guy in prison who they obviously know but they don't like. His name is Baron Zemo. He's a bad guy. He is the one responsible for killing the Black Panther's father. He was the one who orchestrated that whole explosion and put it all in plan and put it all in motion. And the Captain Winter Soldier, actually, yeah, not the Captain America Winter Soldier. I believe it was Civil War, if I'm not mistaken. That's when that whole thing happened, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he launched that attack on him in Civil War. So we'll see the Marvel movie. We'll see what happens with the rest of the show. It's been very entertaining and whatnot. Obviously, there's issues with them obviously having problems with the new Captain America. They don't like him, and he obviously explained to them that since you guys aren't going to help me, you don't trust me. Stay out of my way, and obviously I'll get to the bottom of the Flag Smasher. So that happened with him and his partner. Obviously this week he found out that they broke out Zemo out of prison, but they just obviously can't prove it. But the new Captain America, obviously. He obviously is going to have his own agenda. He's trying to find obviously the answers, and they want to break the case. And he says it doesn't matter how we get it done. It just matters that we get it, that we actually complete the job. That's all they care about when it comes to the government and the mission being completed, with the Flag Smashers being apprehended and obviously Zemo being put back in prison. And that's what he obviously told his partner, the new Captain America. So they're trying to play catch up, and obviously it's a wild goose chase. They're trying to catch up with Bucky Barnes and Sam, and trying to obviously get the information that they had, so they can obviously be first before them, and obviously break the case and apprehend the criminals before them, so they can obviously be looked at as the heroes. He gives them more credibility as the new Captain America, and more people will obviously be on his side and obviously agree that he's a good fit to be the new role in Captain America's replacement now that Steve Rogers is obviously dead. We saw that happen. We saw them obviously go to a different country in Europe and pretend to be criminals in order to get information on the Power Broker and the Flag Smashers. The Flag Smashers, they were in the Power Brokers nightclub / territory, and they almost obviously got shot and taken out, but they didn't. They were helped by one of their friends, and we're still going to see what happens with this. It's been a very interesting show, obviously. We just have to see, obviously, what's going to happen with the rest of it. It's 6 episodes only for this first season, so we'll see what happens with that. It's been fun. Sam and obviously Bucky are having issues trusting each other and disagreements on what they want to do. Sam didn't want to break out Zemo out of jail, but Bucky Barnes did, so he actually helped him break out of jail, because Zemo is apparently the only person that they obviously can go to, because he used to work with Hydra, to make sure that they could find out and figure out where this where the obviously the scientists and the who obviously helped out the Flag Smashers get the serum to become super soldiers. So because of that, they had to break him out of prison, and he's the only one that can help them. So they found out that there's a scientist that obviously helped give the Flag Smasher, obviously helped kind of talk to the Flag Smasher. Excuse me, the Power Broker. The Power Broker obviously is the one in charge. He obviously was the one who brought that all back to light, the super soldier serum. So that's what happens. There was another scientist that they talked about that he said he didn't know much, and that he's just trying to do his own job and his own thing. But he did obviously have some work to deal with the Power Broker. But in all actuality, the Power Broker is the one who decided to do his own thing and obviously make the Flag Smashers, and there's more of this super soldier serum lying around for him to make other people super soldiers as well. So we'll see what happens with that. The Flag Smashers, they've escalated much more quicker now, and they're more dangerous. So what happened was that they robbed some armed guards that were protecting this big facility that had medical supplies and food in it. They robbed them, took all the supplies that they could fit in their trucks, and then they tied them up. And then after that, the leader of the Flag Smashers had explosives in there, and she blew them all up, and she killed them all. So she was explaining to one of her partners that we had to do that so people would take us seriously. I had to escalate the situation, is basically what she's saying. So in order for people to fear us, because now they can take us more seriously, because we're not just robbing people, we're killing them as well. So that's what she decided to do. And I'm guessing that because of this, she's going to be the one she's going to be the reason that they get taken down. Some of her partners in the Flag Smashers are going to give her up and snitch on her and tell on her about what she did, because they don't want to obviously go down with her for murder, since she's killing people, obviously, even if they are guards who are dirty and whatnot. They didn't kill anybody, but they obviously were keeping all those supplies there. So she's using these supplies to take to refugee camps, to people obviously who need it, and they're using it obviously as leverage to gain refuge in certain places and shelter, because they're on the run all the time and they can't stay in one place. So they get help from people to stay in their apartments or their houses and stuff in exchange for supplies and medical supplies, food and whatnot. So she's leveraging that. So we're seeing that take place. So we'll see what happens with that. So continuing on with that, this article is posted on Screen Rant today. It says the MCU's Power Broker's secret identity explained, every Marvel character theory. So it says the true identity of the Falcon and Winter Soldier's mysterious Madripoor crime boss, the Power Broker, could be an existing character within the MCU. So it says in the Falcon and Winter Soldier Season 1, Episode 3, Sam and Bucky learn with the help of Baron Zemo about a mysterious criminal businessman known as the Power Broker. The Power Broker rules over the kingdom of Madripoor, a fictional island in the Indonesian archipelago that was once a haven for pirates and is now a global hub of shady activity within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, so Sam and Zemo and Bucky went to this obviously nightclub owned by the Power Broker, and obviously they went to go look for information to find out about the Flag Smashers. They ran into some trouble. Because they obviously had to put on fake identities, obviously, as criminals, but they didn't know who, obviously, Sam was, but he was playing somebody else. So we'll see what happens with obviously, them trying to get help from other people, but they don't trust Zemo. He shot the professor in this, scientist in this episode, and they had more to ask him and question him, but he said he didn't know much past what he knew about, obviously, the Power Broker taking the super serum that he obviously knew about. Obviously with his connection to Hydra, his connections, and going on to make the super soldiers for the Flag Smashers and the super soldiers, and there's only 8 of them. One of them was killed, so there's 7 of them, and obviously there's 20 vials of the test tube vials that the super serum was in. So we'll see what happens with that, because that means there's more of it out there. So continuing on, the Marvel Comics, there are only 2 characters. The Marvel Comics, there are 2 characters who have used the Power Broker alias. The original was a slick businessman named Curtis Jackson, who created a corporation called Power Broker Incorporated. As the name suggests, Power Broker Incorporated is in the business of selling superpowers through means such as the super soldier serum. After Jackson's death in the comics, a new Power Broker emerged, this time with superpowers of his own. But almost nothing is known about the new Power Broker's origins, not even his real name. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier's version of the Power Broker has been referred to with male pronouns, but that doesn't mean much, given that very few people seem to know his true identity. It is also likely that, as in the comics, Power Broker is a mantle that can be passed down from person to person. With all that in mind, here are the best theories about which Marvel characters could be the Power Broker. Yes, Sharon Carter. She's the friend of Bucky and Sam that helped them in this episode. She came out of nowhere as a character from the past, showing up and obviously lending her hand to save them at the nightclub when a shooting broke out, which obviously, unfortunately, happened because of Zemo. Not with Zemo, because of Sam, and obviously the escalation that happened with his identity being found out. Guns were drawn and people were shot, and the person that they were trying to help, which was Selby, she got shot and killed. Obviously, we see what happens, but it seems like Sharon was the one that obviously helped them. But there was another person that shot at her. There was, and then that helped them. There was a sniper up in the roof. It looked like a guy. I don't know who that was, but he helped them, by the way. I don't know who he is. So we'll see what happens with that. So, but continuing on, by far the most popular and credible theory is that Sharon Carter will be revealed as the Power Broker. After Sam, Bucky, and Zemo pass by, Power Broker is watching graffiti turn to the Princess Bar. A hood-wearing Sharon is seen ducking into the crowd. When they meet with Selby, someone with lethal aim shoots her through the window, and almost immediately, Power Broker puts out a bounty for the trio. Sharon is conveniently placed to rescue them from pursuing the bounties, and then takes them to her lavish apartment in Madripoor. Clearly, Sharon is thriving in her new life as an outlaw, and she will be more than just an art dealer. They're saying that she's more than that. She asked Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, to help pardon her name, so she obviously can go back to the United States and not have to worry about being apprehended and arrested, obviously. So we'll see what happens with that. Sharon has become delusional and embittered towards superheroes, loudly condemning them for their hypocrisy. She also has a reason to hold a grudge against Zemo, whose manipulations behind the scenes in Captain America Civil War led Sharon to being forced to go on the run. Since Sharon knew that Sam, Bucky, and Zemo came to the Princess Bar looking for Selby, she may have killed the Fence for betraying the Power Broker's secrets. Sharon was also able to ascertain the location of Dr. Wilfred Nagel's laboratory. That's the guy that they went to go talk to, the scientist. Zemo killed him, obviously, after he spoke a little bit. I think he's trying to hide what he knew, because obviously he had connections to Hydra as well, so he didn't want him to spill any secrets that he didn't want Sam, Bucky, and Sharon to find out. So continuing, surprisingly quietly at her party, Sharon, because she knew where he was all along, Sharon could even be working with Zemo and could have given him the instructions to kill Dr. Nagel. Zemo shot Nagel as soon as Sharon entered the laboratory. Perhaps he did so in order to prevent the scientists from identifying Sharon as the Power Broker. This theory fits with the final appearance in the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3. After bidding a farewell to the trio and reminding Sam of their deal to get her a pardon, Sharon, a woman arrives to pick Sharon up. As she gets in the car, Sharon says, "We've got a big problem." Actually, a couple of them. If the two big problems she's referring to are Sam and Bucky because of their interference in her dealings as a Power Broker, she may not be counting Zemo as a problem because he's operating as her agent. It says Curtis Jackson. If the Falcon and Winter Soldier sticks too close to the comic books, the Power Broker could simply be revealed as the MCU's version of Curtis Jackson. In the comics, Curtis Jackson was originally a leader within the global criminal organization known only as the Corporation, which operated all sorts of illegal schemes and businesses. Jackson then began to focus all of his attention on making money in the business of superheroes. Founding Power Broker Incorporated and establishing himself as the main Power Broker, Jackson eventually tried to augment his own body, but the process went haywire, and he became so grotesquely muscular that he couldn't physically move his own limbs, and he had to wear an exoskeleton suit. Curtis is worth mentioning as all the original Power Brokers from comics canon, the comic books of Marvel, but would rather be a boring choice for the Falcon and Winter Soldier's version of the character. Thunderbolt Ross. This is Betty Ross, his father, in the Hulk series. He could be them because he's a very powerful guy, very smart and rich. He obviously doesn't like superheroes that much, at all, really. Barely. Obviously, they do his bidding. Doesn't like the Hulk because obviously Betty married Bruce Banner, and their relationship obviously wasn't very good. Similar to how Lois Lane and obviously her father with Clark Kent as Superman. They're just as similar. They don't like the man slash superhero that their daughter is married to, because they basically gave them a warning not to marry them. They obviously disavowed it. So, and disavowed it, and obviously forbid it as well. So one Marvel character who seems likely to return in The Falcon and Winter Soldier is Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. He first appeared in one of the very first MCU Marvel movies, The Incredible Hulk, in which Ross recruited Banner in his efforts to recreate the World War II super soldier serum. Since then, he has acted as one of the Avengers' main contacts within the U.S. government, lecturing the superhero team for the messy large-scale battles at Captain America's Civil War, and unsuccessfully commanding Rhodey or Rhodes, the Iron Man's friend, obviously War Machine, to arrest the fugitive Captain America, the Falcon, and the Black Widow in Avengers Infinity War. Ross was one of the billions of people who disappeared during the Thanos snap, which is what they call the blip, and he was last seen at Tony Stark's funeral. So why would Thaddeus Ross go from his straight-laced job at the Department of State to a role as a crime kingpin on an island in Indonesia? Perhaps because the power broker of Madripoor is actually the U.S. government itself. A major inspiration for the Falcon and Winter Soldier was the comics Ministry's Truth, Red, White, and Black, whose story was focused on highly unethical super soldiers experiments carried out and covered by the U.S. government. Dr. Naglo said that at one point he was developing a super soldier serum for the CIA, but what if he never stopped? By moving the research to Madripoor and creating the figurehead out of the power broker, the government could carry out unscrupulous experiments that violate the Sokovia Accords, all the unscrupulous experiments that violate the all while maintaining plausible deniability, and a high-ranking official like Ross, and a high-ranking official like Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, who has previous experience leading a super soldier project, would be exactly the kind of man to oversee operations in Madripoor. Anaran Zola, he's basically in a computer now. His consciousness and his brain, obviously, I guess you can say level of intelligence. He's basically he's a transhumanist. He became enthralled and even injected in a machine, so his physical body is obviously no longer here. His mind and spirit and soul are in the machine, so he has transcended, like the movie Humanism, Transcend with Johnny Depp, where he put his mind and his soul slash spirit, his mental conscience, and uploaded it in a cloud type of event online. He uploaded it into a machine. Computer is online, so his consciousness and his brain power and identity are there, so he can speak through machines, but his physical body is gone, obviously, but his intelligence is uploaded there. So that's what that is, transhumanism. So The Falcon and the Winter Soldier effectively serves as another Captain America movie sequel, following up on the plot threads and characters from the first Avenger movie, The First Winter Soldier, and Civil War. With that in mind, it wouldn't be at all surprising to see a villain from the first two Captain America movies make a comeback. Arnim Zola was a German scientist who originally worked for Hydra in the Red Skull and got a job with S.H.I.E.L.D. after the war, which he used to secretly raise Hydra from the ashes and poison S.H.I.E.L.D. from within. In Captain America the Winter Soldier, Steve Rogers and the Black Widow, Captain America and the Black Widow discovered that Zola had evaded death by uploading his consciousness into a computer. The specific computer that he spoke to them on was destroyed, but a man like Zola was almost certainly smart enough to have a backup system. And this is obviously Zemo. So it says, from the tablets Sharon uses to negotiate her details to the text message sent out declaring the bounty of much of the criminal goings-ons in Madripoor actually happening on a digital land scale. The power broker being a brain inside a computer would certainly explain why his identity is such a closely guarded secret. If there's one thing the power broker and Zemo have in common, it's wealth. The Sokovian supervillain's return in Falcon and Winter Soldier was followed by him giving them a tour of his collection of expensive cars before inviting them for a ride on his private jet. And although Zemo has been behind bars ever since he was apprehended by the Black Panther in Captain America Civil War, the combination of deep pockets and a sharp mind mean that he could very well have been pulling the strings even while he was in prison. Though through proxies and agents, Zemo could be the Denzies of Madripoor, the denizens of Madripoor, convinced that the power broker was among them and watching them, despite being locked up thousands of miles away. As for his motivations, for developing a new super soldier serum. It's possible that Zemo's hate for people with superpowers is just an act. He did kill Hydra's 5 winter soldiers in Siberia, but they were put in suspended animation precisely because they were considered failed test subjects. Dr. Nagel boasts that his super soldier serum is more subtle and refined than previous versions. Perhaps Zemo rejected Hydra's ready-made super soldiers because he wanted to create better soldiers of his own. So that's basically it. We'll see what happens with that. Who's the identity, who the power broker's secret identity is, and we'll see what takes place with that. It could be very interesting to see who it is. It might be somebody who we might not suspect of it. But we'll see, obviously, what characters from the past Captain America and Marvel movies will be coming in to show up on the show as who is the one who's responsible as the mad scientist, who is the power broker, who is obviously the one who made the Flag Smashers super soldiers, and he's making his own army. Or it could be a woman, obviously. So we'll see what happens with that. It'll be very interesting. It could be most likely be Sharon, obviously, based off of what she said. Stating at the end of the episode that we got the 2 big problems that obviously was not explained. She decided that she was not going to go back with Sam, Bucky, and Zemo to I believe possibly another country. Yeah, it's another European country, to find out more about the Flag Smashers and to follow them and hunt them down and to find obviously them before they inflict more damage on people, and find out obviously what they can figure out about the power broker, who he might have obviously injected with the super soldier serum, and obviously who's working with him that they might not know about. But we'll see what happens with that. The show has been great. Was awesome. I did like this episode more than the last one because the Captain America, him and his partner basically are on their separate sides, and it's been established that they're not going to be teaming up together. So I actually preferred that. So there was no long-winded, drawn-out argument of them saying, "We don't trust you. You're not Steve Rogers, saying you'll never be him." So that's that. Chris Evans, who obviously plays Steve Rogers, who is Captain America. So that's obviously been established. So I like this because it showed him and his partner on their side and back in America, not America, but back in another country, trying to figure out, obviously. So it's basically a racing game. So kind of like Catch Me If You Can, mixed in kind of like I'm trying to solve a murder case. So it's a murder. It's a case, but it is a mystery, obviously. But we'll see what happens with that, obviously, and the escalations of the Flag Smashers now using violence to take people out. Their leader did this, so we'll see what happens with that, obviously, because that's not what they stand for. So she's saying we have to bring order in with chaos in order for people to fear us. This is the only way people are going to take us seriously. And because of this, we will make sure that people will obviously fear us, and they'll think twice about double crossing us. So we'll see what happens with that. And if the Flag Smashers violence is going to be something that the power broker is going to be accepting now, because they're bringing more attention to themselves if they keep killing people and the bodies keep piling up. So we'll see what happens with that. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about the videos I made in regards to this, and let me know if you've watched the show. Have you watched the last 2 episodes? This is the 3rd one now. What do you think about them? What do you think about the Winter Soldier and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier being 6 episodes only for the first season? And do you have Disney Plus, or do you not have it because you don't want it? Did you prefer the Netflix Marvel show, TV shows and movies as well on there? And obviously, did you like the fact that obviously Bucky and Sam are going to try to get the shield back for Captain America and obviously honor his legacy? So we'll see what happens with that, obviously. That's all I have to say about this subject matter of the Falcon and Winter Soldier Season 1, Episode 3. We'll see what happens with the rest of the show. The episode was called Power Broker, of course, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the show for the 6 episodes for this first season. Hopefully the second season has 10 episodes, or possibly 8, I'm guessing, which would be 2 more. So I think that would be fair. Thank you for watching. That's all I have to say about this, and we'll see what takes place with the other shows that they have. Moon Knight is going to happen very soon. Loki's show is about to be airing in May next month. Moon Knight will be happening, I guess, September, October, that it'll start airing. That's it. There's no other shows that are going to happen besides that as far as Marvel. I can't think of any other ones. They're dropping movies, obviously, but those are only shows on Disney Plus that I can look at. Moon Knight and obviously Low Key. So we'll see what happens with that. That's going to happen very soon. Thanks again for watching. That's all I have to say about this. Obviously, review of the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Season 1, Episode 3. This one was better than the last episode, which was Episode 2. Because, like I said, now we have established the obviously the point that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are going to be on their side. The new Captain America and his partner are going to be on their side. They're separated. They're not going to work together. They can't stand each other. So I think that's actually better like that, because we don't have to keep having the explanation of, like I said, obviously them saying you can't replace Steve Rogers, you're disrespecting the Shield, and we don't appreciate that because he's our friend. He's obviously dead, and we want to keep his legacy alive, and you're disrespecting him with your arrogance and your over obviously exaggeration of you being a kind of a Boy Scout type of hero. So thank you for watching. That's all I have to say about this. Again, thank you. Bye.